Hello, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from Wahiawa, Hawaii, and it's Talk Story time. And this is Monday, the 13th of September, 2021. Last week, I didn't get on and share a story with you folks, mainly because I felt overwhelmed. Uh, Over the past couple weeks, the Powerball increased went to 3 days a week. And so I'm increasing my activity with the lottery. And the methods that I use for the lottery is very time consuming. And it can take an entire day to work just one lottery. So it's pretty overwhelming for me and takes a lot of energy and focus. And that is why, for many of my people here that are subscribing to my channel, who's asking me to work other lotteries, I gotta say no, because just the two lotteries that I'm working on takes up a lot of my time already. And besides working the lottery, I also do the Standard and Poor investment with Applied Precognition Program or PIA, and I belong to several groups there, and I can work up to 5 days making predictions for the Standard and Poor Index. So um, those are very time-consuming things that I'm involved in, and I am a full-time remote viewer. This is what I do on a full-time basis, and I'm still accepting calls from people to do psychic readings or intuitive readings, and also counseling and coaching. So it's been pretty hectic. Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to discuss with you folks is I'm quite sure that there are several of you out there who consistently listen to my channel. You folks have some kind of talent that you are a specialist in. And what I'm finding is, and I have found in the past, is that people who, once they find out that you have a talent, they'll try and exploit you. Okay? Exploit and use your abilities for their benefits. And that has happened to me several times. Okay? And um, the forms that it normally take place, like when I was going to Las Vegas quite often, um, people would leave me money in an envelope and ask me to play a slot machine for them. Okay? And or they'll give me money and say, hey, go shoot craps for me. Okay? Now, as a gifted person, I can enter a situation, um, and I can feel when a game is right for me. However, this is not 100%. And the sad thing about it is that sometimes the people who give me money, and when I come back and I say, you know what, I dedicated a whole day for you, okay, and to play, and I'm sorry nothing worked out. And then they find out later that, oh yeah, I did win money, and they come back and ask me, well, where's my share? And so this is the kind of complicated things that can happen when you start doing favors for people, and when they try and take advantage of your skills. So for that reason, I no longer accept money from people who expect me to play for them when I'm in Vegas, and basically I tell them, look, it's my trip, not yours. So if you want to play these numbers, then you go up to Vegas. And when I started traveling more often, more frequently to Vegas, people wanted to kind of like know when I was going to be up there, and if I was up there, they asked me to give them a call, and I did that several times, And the question I began to ask is that, okay, I'm a good crap shooter. I'm a dice controller. My wife and I both spent hours. I built portable crap tables where we could practice our toss and betting strategies. And we used to work out for hours every day. My poor neighbors used to hear the dice, landing on a table late at night, and I know it was driving them crazy. But that's my practice sessions here, and um, I I soon realized that people who were asking me to meet them in Vegas, and when I go to the craps table, I'm the one helping them, and they have nothing, no skill whatsoever to offer me in exchange for that. So that quickly became really old. Okay, so what I'm getting at is that the more and more you try and accommodate people, the more they'll try and take advantage of you. And if you're a skilled person and you have certain skills, people will try and take advantage of you. And this is something that I've been experiencing for years now. Not only as a crap shooter, but also a person that can sense machines. And people have a misconception that just because I can sense machines that are ready to hit, they figure out that they think that I can influence the machine to hit, when out of its turn, and that doesn't work that way. And a lot of times it's really interesting. And the last time my wife and I went to Las Vegas, and I like to spend about a week just walking the casinos and feeling the energy of the machines and getting acclimatized. Because in Vegas, Las Vegas, the energy is so intense. There's a lot of energy going around. There's electronic devices all over the place that's sending electronic signals to the machines and trying to communicate with the machines. And I'm there just being slammed. And it takes a while for me to clear the clutter and begin to understand and get focused on the machines. And a lot of times, the machines that I sense that's going to hit are already being played by other people. And so I'll sit and watch, and uh, sometimes I'm hoping that they'll stop and walk away so I can play. But that hasn't happened. I can sense the machine's ready to hit, then I'll sit and I'll watch. And for people in Vegas, if you see me watching you, there's a bearded old man watching you and a machine and cell phone. Stay on the machine, because the machine is pretty hot. Okay, so it's about to hit, and this has happened numerous times, and I can attest to that. Okay, and several times I'm walking by, and the machines that I've been able to sit down and hit were not the high end machines. These are the lower end machines, penny machines, nickel machines, quarter machines, and those are plenty all over the place. But the machines that I want to really focus on the next time I go are the $5 machines or the $25 machines, if to work on them, to cue into it. So another favorite game that I like to play um, is the four card Keno game, and I practice that a lot. And there's a lot of strategies that I've been practicing and looking at and experimenting with on my computer. And occasionally I'll post something about it. Okay. And my latest game that I got In fact, I posted several of my practice sessions on it. Is the roulette wheel. And the interesting thing about roulette is that it has the same amount of numbers. Okay, actually with the single zero and the double zero, but it has the same amount of numbers 1 through 36 as my as one of the Florida Fantasy 5 lotteries that I play. So there are 36 different symbols, and when you add the single zero and double zero, now you have 38. Okay, and a bit of trivia that I was asked a while ago by my friend. If you add up all of the numbers from 1 through 36 on the roulette wheel, what is the sum you'll get? And think about that, okay? And I'll come back at the end of the video and I'll tell you that. Okay, so the roulette wheel. And the roulette wheel is an interesting game because there's multiple bets that you can make. The red and the black, these are even money bets, or odd and even. Okay, so if you want to sit there and you have a low bankroll and you have time, these are fun bets to make, even odd or the red or black. And if you want to increase your risk factor and get a little bit more, where it's paid 2 to 1, you can start betting on the one of the 3 sections of the field: first 12, second 12, and third 12 numbers. And you can also bet the columns. Okay, so and it goes all the way up until you bet specifically on one number, and the return on that one number is 35 to 1. Okay, so you can make that bet, and if you're able to hit, that's really good. My goal in a game of roulette is to hit 3 numbers in a row with a $10 bet on it. Now, what do you get? Well, you get about $1,000. Okay, so 3 bets with $10 on it and walk away. Okay, so that's my goal, and that's my goal for the game of roulette. There's also some activity that's been picking up lately, and it's regarding some of the things that I was really actively doing several years ago. And what I was doing several years ago is I was helping find lost people or people that's been missing for a while. And as a remote viewer, there's several skills that you can do to help find people. One of the first skills is by location, where you actually go to the place where the person is missing and look around and observe and pick up anything that you can sense. I like when I'm given a missing person case and the person is difficult to track. Why? Well, if he's difficult to track, that means he's alive. He or she is alive and is moving around. And so they're not stationary in one place. Sometimes I like to have a general location of where that person is so that I can time my search for these people and when they're sleeping or when they should be sleeping, unless they're night owls like me. Okay, so if I'm having tough time tracking a person, that means a person is still moving and alive. So that's really something good to report to these poor family members who often, at wit's end trying to locate their loved ones. The saddest part of doing lost people is when you can zero in right when they mention your name and you start focus, your energy goes zing right to a spot, and it's stationary and the person isn't moving. And when you sense, when I make sketches like a lump, an arch, or something like dip like this, on my sketches, normally that means that the person is buried somewhere. Okay, and if is not part of if went through the funeral services, a buried person normally is someone that uh, was killed and someone is trying to hide their body. So I've had that uh, happen several times. And when you come across a person that a missing person who's dead or dying, and you bilocate, especially when you bilocate and you're up front or right close to the person, all of the sights, all of the smells, all of the sounds are right there for you to experience. So it can be really rough. And so that's one of the reasons why I shied away from doing missing people for a long time. Some people can do that; they can stomach that. But as my experience as a police officer, when I was a police officer, I used to respond to a lot of unattended deaths where people were dead for several weeks, and by the time we find them, um, the odor is really strong. They're decomposing, and unfortunately, it's my job to go check in to make sure that um, the body wasn't, or the cause of death, stuff wasn't something suspicious. So I'm in there with the coroner, um, uh, looking and seeing and witnessing all of that. So um, these experiences make me shy away from missing people, but I still can, um, occasionally, depending on the case, if a person is still alive, I don't mind looking for them. But as soon as I can lock into them, I back off. Okay, and this ability also to locate lost people is not only for people but also for precious metals. And in fact, one of the things that I was able to help a friend of mine up in the mainland, um, came across actually, he had a mining rights where they could mine gold, dig for precious metals and minerals. And the specific area that they were looking at had been a gold mine, not a gold mine, but a site where gold was being extracted. And so he was working on it for about 5 years, 5, 6 years, and the particular vein that they had exploited was gone, is empty, and he's about ready to give up his lease. And he contacted me, found out that what I could do, I could kind of like locate where the gold was on his property. And so he contacted me, and I was able to uh, do a directional thing. And the the place that they were digging in was just about 400 or 500 feet away from the eventual site where I asked them to go dig, and they were able to find some gold, and I believe they were able to extract something like 40 ounces of gold from there. And 40 ounces at that time was a lot of money. Okay, so they were able to extract that much, and so it made that discovery enabled people to uh, make make money on their property. So these are some of the things that I've participated in and willing to help other people. And the thing about it is that when I get involved in anything like that or agree to get involved in that, for missing people, I'll help, whatever I can do. However, if it's for precious metals and things like that, you need to make my time worthwhile because it takes a lot of time. I'll do a map search and different things that remote viewers do to find things like that on a map. Okay, so I've been training that. Anyway, so I just wanted to share some of these things. And coming back to the roulette wheel, if you add all of the numbers 1 through 35 together, what number do you get? 666. Okay, so you can take that to bed. Anyway, I just wanted to share some of the things, some of the types of work, different types of work that I do, and so that you can kind of like see the different things that I'm doing. I'm not only working on the lottery. I'm not only working on Standard and Poor, but there's a lot of different other things that I'm involved in that requires my attention. So if I'm not doing posting things on a regular basis, especially stories, I'm normally busy with something else. Okay. Anyway, I hope this was informative, and if you have any questions, please contact me. And for people who contact me and say, Dave, I want to, can you do this for me? Okay. If it's anything that's teachable, I can teach people. My response is rather than me doing it for you, I'll teach you how to do it so you can do it yourself. Okay. And don't try and hold on to other people's coattails, okay? Because it's not going to be advantage. You're not learning anything, okay? You're not improving your life. So that's why if you want to learn how I do the lottery, I'll teach you, okay? And you just need to contact me. And if you want me to work a certain lottery that I don't work on, I'm not going to do it, but I can teach you how to play it, okay? And if you give me the time, all right? So take that into consideration, and until next Monday, this is Dave Wallace from Waihoa, Hawaii, saying aloha.